Hi, I'm Adam Jahns from the Chicago Sun-Times. I'm joined outside at Hallis Hall by colleague Patrick Finley. All right, Pat, pretty big news on the Bears front. Jared Allen is back. He's getting back to health. He had pneumonia. Lost 15 pounds.
Yep.
He's gained 2 of it, or 3 of it back so far. Long road ahead for him.
Yeah, he said he's gained 2 pounds back, and before we start talking about him going to McDonald's to get the other 12 back before Sunday, he's most concerned about his lungs. You know, pneumonia is a lung problem, and if he doesn't get his wind back in time to chase Cam Newton around the field, he's not going to be very effective. That said, he seems pretty optimistic that he's going to be able to go. You know, he spent last week banished to the basement of his own house because he's got a newborn that he was allowed nowhere near. So it's been a rough week for him, and just kind of a rough season across the board. He didn't play much in the preseason. You know, he mentioned he had a new baby. It doesn't seem like he's been in the rhythm of football that he's probably been used to his whole career.
Yeah, and this pneumonia, at least this bout with it, first showed up against the Jets. He started feeling the chills then, and he didn't have a productive game really until the fourth quarter, where he put the pressure at Geno Smith. You're right, it's been a really strange season for him, you know, with a new team.
Well, yeah, you could joke that having a little pneumonia is probably the best thing to happen to him, because that fourth quarter against the Jets was the best period of football he's played for the Bears up to this point. Now he's kind of got to start from scratch again, and I think it's fair to assume that he's not going to be at full strength even if everything goes well. The Bears still need him though, because as the defense showed, Jared Allen at 80% still probably better than what they've got.
Yeah, they definitely needed to get their rotation going. It wasn't in effect at all against the Green Bay Packers. Cornelius Washington played, David Bass played, Trevor Scott played, but they didn't play that much. They were really relying on 5 guys there. Now you got Jared Allen getting healthy. You have Jeremiah Ratliff practicing for the first time in a couple weeks with his concussion recovery as well.
Yeah, Ratliff said today he's never in his life had a concussion before, which is unbelievable to me. He wouldn't really get into specifics about what he needs to accomplish between now and Sunday to play, but this is obviously a good sign. If he wasn't somewhat okay, he wouldn't be practicing. So that's huge for the Bears defense. That's huge for their defensive line. Much like with the ends, their tackles now can rotate, and they can only benefit from that.
And one more big development on the injury front is that Brandon Marshall has practiced, or had full participation in practice for the first time in weeks since he first heard it against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, he hadn't practiced in full since the day before, or since the Friday before the Bills game, and I think he'd only practiced once in a limited capacity since then too. This is good for them. The Bears made it clear, after Sunday's game, Jay Cutler said on his radio show too, that you have to be able to practice to be able to help the team long term. I think Brandon heard that loud and clear. Mark Trestman said that before, and he said it again today. So I think that's good for Brandon. That can only benefit them. And now the question is, can it hold up during a week of practice and get him to Sunday, where and if it does, he'll play.
Yeah, the best sign is that he's actually comfortable or ready or healthy enough that the ankle can handle full practice, all the routes and everything. All right, from outside Hallis Hall, he's Patrick Finley. I'm Adam Jahns. Thanks for watching this Bears Beat video. Stay with SunTimes.com for all our Bears coverage.